Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online guide video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're going to be talking about gold farming and the best places to gold farm in the game. Not only for making gold through selling stuff, but also a fast way to make gold on an hourly basis. So one of the things that I do myself, because I'm more of a solo player most of the time, is I try to find the best places to farm gold and the fastest ways to farm gold when it comes to just flat gold earned, not selling items on the guild trader, not farming materials and selling them on the guild trader, but I'm talking about farming and then selling things to a merchant to make gold. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this in a lot of different locations, but the best places to farm gold is public dungeons. The ones I primarily use, and I'm going to show you guys this with the overland map, is there's certain dungeons in each faction, and in fact in each zone, which have a good return of coin versus or coin and items. So when I farm gold, what I do is I use public dungeons, and usually I use the ones in the last area of every faction. So when it comes to like Aldermary Dominion, I use Reaper's March. I use the public dungeon here, the Vile Mains, as a location that I farm to gather stuff to either sell to a merchant or just to earn coin, because there's a lot of Imperial NPCs in this dungeon, so you're going to get a lot of coin drop along with some item drops. Now a lot of people will tell you the fastest way to make gold is to buy farm items and sell them on the guild trader, but if you don't have a guild trader, which not a lot of people do, there is a fast way to make gold, and you could make on an average 10k gold to 100k gold an hour, depending on how much you're willing to put in to do it. Now when I say 10k to 100k gold, that depends on how much bag space you have available. That depends on if you have a pocket merchant or not. If you have to go back to town to sell items to a merchant and then go back to the public dungeon you were at to farm, then there's a gain of gold and a loss of gold from traveling. And it's not a big loss, it's like 146 gold, but you're still going to get a loss with a gain. So it's kind of one of those things. Now, like I said, the Vile Mains is one of the dungeons, but I wanted to do an updated guide on the chapter areas too, because there's a lot of chapter areas that are really good, and there's one area in Hrothgar that I found to be really good as well for farming gold. So the best place in Hrothgar is Old Orsinium, and you have to go a ways into this place to get to the humanoids that you can fight. And you're going to farm them. You're going to farm the humanoid NPCs. You don't want to farm bears and spiders and stuff like that, not unless you're looking for materials. But you're going to want to fight the humanoids. You can also farm Rindlecleft. It's really good. Or Rindle Left. It's a really good place for farming gold. If you get, like I said, you have to get past the Dweemers. You have to get into where you're fighting humanoids. And there's a good area where you can just go in a circle in there. If you know the public dungeon layout, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, other places you can farm, besides the Vardenfell and Somerset and elsewhere, is, like I said, every location has a public dungeon. And finding the public dungeon you like to do the most is what I like to do. Is I like to find the one I prefer doing, and I just run it continuously until my bags are full. if you can do this, usually what will happen is within an hour's time of farming a dungeon, or something like that, you can earn anywhere between 5 to 10k coin, and then items that you can sell for another 5 to 10k. It just and it just varies again based on how much bag space you have. Now I'm going to show you my character. I have 49 out of 170 bag spaces used, and I don't have max bag space on this character. Okay, this is my main character I do all my farming with. So I have to, I only sell what I have based on the space I have available. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll clear my inventory out as best I can at my bank or at my chests in my house, and I will only take the essentials of what I need to farm with, which is lockpicks, food, and soul gems, and that's it. Everything else I put away into the bank, and I leave it there, so that way I can just go back and get it when I need it. Usually, like I said, I'll use a chest, one of the chests that you get in the game, the 30 item chests. I have 2 of them in my house that I tend to dump everything in. As you can see, I have a 60 count, and then I have a 30 count. So I usually use the 60 count. I dump all my items that I don't need, and then I go to these public dungeons, and I just sit there and I farm them. I farm them so much, in fact, that that I'll fill my inventory, and then I'll usually, if I don't have, because I do have the pocket merchant on the live servers, I'll summon her and sell all my items, and then just continue to farm. The other problem you have is repairs. You do have to repair your gear eventually. Usually I can earn anywhere between 20 to 30k gold an hour with the way I do it. And that is farming the public dungeons and stuff. But let's talk a little bit about the new public dungeons in Vardenfell, Somerset, and elsewhere. Because these are new public dungeons that you can farm also for gold. So in Vardenfell or Morrowind, you have 2 public dungeons. You have the Forgotten Wastes, and you have the this one that I can't pronounce. So this one is really good if you're looking for materials or items to sell. This one is really good if you're looking for coin and items to sell. So I prefer Forgotten Wastes over the, When it comes to Somerset, the best public dungeon here to farm is actually the Sunhold. And you can make a lot of gold from Sunhold because of the amount of NPCs that drop coin in here. So this is a really good one to farm. You can get a lot of gold out of the Cairn Wastes, but it's not as much. So I prefer to farm Sunhold. Now, a lot of people ask me, am I going to do builds also on farming? Yes, I have a couple builds I'm going to be releasing this update. One Magicka build, one Stamina build, and these are universal builds. They can be used on any class, and they're made to farm public dungeons. So, going on to Elsewhere. Elsewhere did get some new public dungeons added to it, which is great. And I do want to thank the devs for this, because there is 2, and both of them are actually really good for farming gold. To me, though, Orcrest is probably the fastest for earning gold, because there's a lot of NPC, you're fighting a lot of zombies and stuff, and you're fighting a lot of like undead stuff, so you're not going to get as much coin as you do items, but you can make a lot of coin off the items you find, and if you fill your bags enough, like I said, you can make anywhere between, and it just depends on how much bag space you have. If you have maximum bag space, you can make up to 100,000 gold an hour, and that's if you're willing to put in the time to do it. Now, it is not easy to do 100k gold an hour. We're talking about you're pretty much, this is like a perfect farm, and you're getting nothing but purple items, and you're getting or a lot of purple and blue items that you can sell versus green items and white items. So the more purple and blue you get, the more gold you make, and the more rare the item is that you can make money off of, the faster you're going to make gold. Now, when it comes to coin, Rimmon Necropolis is actually the best place for making coin, and you can actually make a lot of coin here, but you can also make a lot of gold from item sales. I find that Rimmon, I can usually pull a little bit more gold from than I can from Orecrest, and it really, again, it comes down to players' ability to earn. So, like, if you're not willing to put in the effort to go out and farm gold, then you're not going to make much gold. But I do find those two to be really good for that. And again, it really depends on the person and your ability to farm or put in the time to farm. Now, there is some good places in Cyrodiil too. Some of the delves here are really good for farming gold, because the Cyrodiil delves, if you guys didn't know, are actually bigger than most of the delves in the game. Not quite as big as delves in like Morrowind or Somerset or elsewhere, but they're pretty close to those sizes. And these ones, there's a few of them where there's Imperials in them, and if you can do those ones and farm the Imperials, you'll make you can make a lot of gold here as well. But again, time investment is what it's all about. It is about getting in, investing the time to farm this stuff. A lot of people don't like to invest the time because it's very time consuming. I mean, for me to farm a dungeon accurately or 100%, I have to just basically zone out for several hours doing it. And like I said, I can make anywhere between 20 to 100k gold depending on how much I pull in. So, like, not just coins, but items I can sell to a merchant. Now, if you do have to travel to a merchant, like I said, to sell items, that's where you're going to start seeing a loss of gold. And it's not just from traveling, paying the 149 gold to travel. It's the loss of gold from not farming. So it's going to a town, selling items, then going back to the location to farm them, and then farming it again, then going back and selling, and then coming back. There is several other ways you can farm gold in the game. One is what I call a chest farm, and I have several chest farms now that I'm using. I do one here in Craglorn where I basically hit the whole entire map, and I just farm chests. I don't farm any resources or anything, I just farm chests. And if I do this, I can pull roughly about 5k to 50k, roughly. And I wouldn't even say that. I'd say 5k to 30k gold an hour. Now, another place that I farm is Canarthy's Roost. I do the chest farm here. That's a really good location. I also do the one on Stros Mackay. And then there's a really good one over here on Bleak Rock Isles. There's a good chest farm. Now, other areas that I do farm chests is I do farm chests and Psijic nodes, or Psijic rifts, in Somerset, Vardenfell, and elsewhere. I'll do chest and Psijic portals, or Psijic rifts. Those you can get items from, and you can also get other things that you can sell to a merchant. But it's mainly because chests, if you have the right CP, I'll just show you guys this. If you have the right CP set up for your character, you can actually get more gold out of chests, and you actually have a greater chance of pulling purple items. So I'm just going to go over here to Canarthy's Roost to show you guys what I mean by that. And it really depends on the chest type. So if it's a basic chest or a simple chest, you're not gonna get purple items from it, but there's a better chance of you getting a blue item instead of just a green item. Then you'll always get roughly about 100 gold per chest or more. So chest farms are a good way to get started in farming gold and getting you, like, if you're looking to make gold fast, where you can buy some sets to get you started into gold farming, chest farming is the way to start. So let me get across here real quick. And this is, I like I said, there's so many places I don't even need a map anymore. when it comes to chest farming, because I know where all the chests are. I've got them memorized. And the places I just mentioned are some of them. I even know all the ones in Somerset and Vardenfell. In certain locations. Not the whole map, but... because I just farm the outskirts of the map. Like, run around the outside of it, the map itself, and farm stuff. Really? So, as you can see, I got 116 gold, a staff, and a treasure map. Now, the treasure map I'm not going to throw away or anything. I'm actually going to use it later to farm more chests. I'll go to that location and I'll farm chests to earn more gold, and I'll use that treasure map to do it. Because I also use add-ons. I use harvest maps, and the harvest maps lets you see chests on your map and resources. So you see all these little marks here. These are all resources that I can farm, and then the chest will show up as a chest symbol, of course. But like I said, if you know where all the chests are in a map and you get really good at it, you can farm a map in no time and you can make a decent amount of gold. Like I said, this is just me showing you some of the locations where there's chests on Canarthy's Roost. So there's usually one here. There'll be one on the other side, right on the other side, right there. And not all chests are going to be intermediate. You know, they vary, and this is where chest farming doesn't pull as much gold as it does from a public dungeon, because in a public dungeon you're fighting enemies that are going to drop items, and you're going to be fighting bosses. There'll be a chest right here too sometimes, most of the time actually. There's a chest right over here. There's going to be one by this boat back here. I don't know if it's going to be here, but it's usually like right there. And then there's one right over here, and I'm only going to show you a handful of chests. There's one right there. There's one on this island out back there. You can see it right now. I'm pointing at it. And a lot of people do use the chest farms to make gold, because you can make a lot of gold at it, especially if you're farming items and you can sell them on a guild trader. Now, I'm not going to lie. If you can sell on a guild trader, you can make a lot of gold, especially for people who are working on jewelry crafting, people who are working on wanting more resources for their jewelry crafting. This is a great way to earn jewelry, is chest farming, because you can farm the starter islands and get the starter jewelry, the training jewelry. There's always a chest here, and then there's going to be one right on the other side of this boat. And these are, like I said, this isn't all locations. This is me just showing you some of the locations. There's one always right there. And then I'm going to go around this corner here, and I'm going to show you one more before I close out this guide. So, but if you learn chest locations and you can memorize things, one of the reasons why I can do this, guys, I don't need the maps anymore, is or I don't use the maps or anything, or even add-ons for it, is, I guess you could say I'm special. I have what's called an idyllic memory, and that means I have a photographic memory, but mine doesn't work like most photographic memories do. For some people, I unfortunately do have a few issues with mine, and there'll be one here. Mine is broken. That's the best way I can put it. And it's not bad, it's not a negative, guys. It's just that mine only works for things that I'm interested in. So if I'm interested in something, I can I can remember where chests are, and I can farm them like crazy. There's usually a chest down in here too, which a lot of people don't know about. So, but yeah, it's just something that you learn to live with, you know, kind of thing. And for some people, memorizing things can be easier than others. And for me, it's just really easy. So this is why I can do the things I do when it comes to making gold. I can make more gold than most people because I do memorize where locations are. So, but yeah, on Canarthy's Roost, there's more chests than there is on Stros Mackay and Bleak Rock. And that's because those starter areas are split between two locations. So There's actually other areas that you can farm besides like I said, besides Bleak Rock or Stros Mackay. You can also farm Becknith, or you can even farm the other starting location for this, which is Balfoyan. And any of those areas is good to farm chests because it's easy. It's not hard, it's not difficult, it's not challenging. It's just finding the locations of the chests and just basically repeating in a circle, unlocking them. And then selling the items at a merchant, or if you want, at a guild trader. But the fastest way to make gold is, like gold itself, is usually farming public dungeons. And that's because you're getting gold drops, like gold to drop from the enemies, and you're getting items that you can sell to a merchant. And the more bag space you have open, like I said, the more gold you'll make. So farm the ones you like to do, and just go from there, because you're always going to find a public dungeon or something that you enjoy doing. And usually what I do is I call it burning out. I'll play a public dungeon for so long until I burn out on looking at it, seeing it, then I'll move on to another one. So, but again, like I said, I can make anywhere between 20k gold to, or 10k gold to 100k gold, depending on my ability to farm and what locations I choose to do that in. So again, a lot of people have different preferences in locations they like to farm. Some people will even say that the fastest way to make gold is by selling on a guild trader. They're not lying. If you have a good guild trader in a good location, you can make gold hand over fist. But if your guild trader is like one of those ones that's like even on Canarthy's Roost, you're not going to make a lot of gold unless somebody's using like TTC to find your items for sale. Otherwise, selling the items directly to a merchant or selling them in zone chat is actually going to move the product faster, and you can actually make more gold that way. But those are just some suggestions from me on what I use to farm gold in this game and how I can make gold. And like I said, on average, I can make anywhere between 20k, because I actually break the 10k mark pretty easily. I can make anywhere between 20k and 150k gold an hour, depending on how much time I'm willing to put in. Now, I can make more than that if I'm willing to push myself a little bit harder and different locations. And it really depends on the location and how, you know, if like how well you can farm it and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that comes in play here, and you've got to have fast ability to kill, but not too fast where it makes it to where when you run a public dungeon, that by the time you get around back to the beginning to start all over again, that things aren't dropping stuff. You want to do it in a way that where you kill things in a certain fashion, it's not speed farming, because you can speed farm a dungeon, but you can't. And the reason I say that is because you could, like, the faster you farm a dungeon, the faster that they don't drop stuff. So you want to take it at a pace that's comfortable to you, that's got you killing things pretty much from start to finish. You want to be done in 15 minutes. That's the way I do it. Like, if I'm doing a full farm on a dungeon, 15 minutes, I want to do a full rotation in that dungeon to where I kill every boss, every enemy that I can to get loot. Then I move I start back at the beginning and I do the whole thing again, and I do this 4 times in an hour. And usually within an hour, like I said, within an hour I can make 100k gold. But you have to be willing to put in the time. If you get easily distracted or bored from farming, your best way to make gold is selling on a guild trader. Now, there is another way you can make gold. Really good gold. And that's farming dungeons. Regular dungeons, like normal or veteran dungeons. I don't bring this up too often because it can be really challenging for some people, especially when it comes to soloing dungeons. Which is what I do, and several other people do. But if you can get a 2-man group for normal dungeons, and you have a good 2-man group to where you can speed clear a normal dungeon really fast, you can usually make, on average, from a normal dungeon, 10k gold a run. So that's a benefit. And if you can get the run down to 15 minutes, depending on the dungeon, then you can run that dungeon continuously and just earn that 10k plus gold every hour, every 15 minutes. So it's a constant thing. But again, it really depends on the player, on how much effort they're willing to put into the game and everything else. So, but that's pretty much it for this guide video, guys. I hope it was informative. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you guys liked it. And that means you guys know what's coming next. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in game. Bye.